Did you see, Joe, Nancy Mace just went on the House floor with a video / picture and evidence showing a former partner of hers or someone she was associated with who decided to take videos and images without her consent. It goes directly in line with Melania Trump's bill trying to stop that. She is also suing him for defamation. He is a businessman. And take a look at this footage. So this is Nancy Mace. We'll jump right into it. It's a little bit disturbing, I guess you could say. It's not as graphic as some people were expecting, but this is the image that shows Nancy Mace. And we're going to play the audio in a second. You can hear what she says. But that shows her in front of the picture, which she was showing on the House floor. There were, by the way, more videos and images. I've seen some of them that were leaked in a Telegram group that I'm a part of. So I've seen some of these videos. I tweeted out. It took my innocence away.
Yeah,
it did.
The biblical version.
My innocence is gone. My innocence is now gone after seeing that. And a bunch of people were asking me to post it publicly. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that or if I even want to do that. Here's what I'll do. I'll put a link maybe for someone else posting it if you really want to see what she was actually showing. It's a little bit graphic. I wouldn't recommend looking at it, but I'll do something for everyone who really wants to see it. And some people probably just want to see it because they want to see They want to see some Nancy Mace. They want to get a little action on the internet. That's I'm sure that's part of it. Even though it is a serious thing. This is a lawsuit. This is alleged abuse. So it's serious, but at the same time, some people I think just want to see it for that.
I don't know if I would agree with putting it out here. You can share it somewhere else, but I don't want to show her naked running around Yeah,
you're probably right. It's probably not. I mean, I don't really want to share it either. So why don't we? If you want to find it, you probably can out there, but it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
If you want to find it, Google it. Go to Yandex. It's there.
It is there, and
everything's on Yandex.
So a description includes, so he had some footage from inside the bedroom, footage from inside the apartment, and basically it was graphic. That the footage that I saw on Telegram was more graphic than what we saw there. Why don't we play her audio in that clip and you can hear what she's saying, and then we're going to show you exactly why she was saying it. And it's a big show today, by the way. We also have someone who just bombed an IVF clinic. Crazy stuff. The real reason he did it will surprise you, shock you potentially if you haven't already heard of this story. Even if you have, we have some details that have not been seen before or shared before. So when we come back from the intro, we're going to go straight into the clip of Nancy Mace. I'll see you on the other side.
Take two. Cut.
Take two.
I want to talk to my people. I want to talk to my brothers and sisters. We can have grace and humility in how we interact with other people.
Right, follow me with this.
But they've been using their power to obstruct and stop justice from taking place.
You want to pray us out?
I do.
We'll pray for Tina. And let's have conversations about what truth is.
Starting on November 5th, 2023, I discovered my former fiancé, Patrick Bryant, had filmed women without their knowledge, without their permission, and without their consent. He filmed rape, too. He appeared to catalog his tapes and footage and images and photos in the way that he saved the files. And he stored these images, photos, and videos for years. This isn't just creepy, it's criminal, but only under weak state laws. In South Carolina, first-time voyeurs face a misdemeanor and a small $500 fine. That's not justice, that is betrayal. Real men guard a woman's privacy, but predators harvest it.
That's crazy. She's literally showing an image of it on the picture there, right behind her, on the floor of the house. What do you think about that, Joe? What's going on here? Why do you think she decided to take the image and show it publicly, considering it is something that is private?
Well, I think she's probably getting ahead of it. It was from what I understand, it was out there before, but it's she said a couple things that are just contradictory, and my head starts to explode. One, her previous fiance, and then did she break it off with him? And I don't want to get into the details of he said, she said. I just hope that she's being honorable. You know what I mean? I mean, because her accusations is that he was raping other women. So he was filming her and raping other women. I don't, this is one of those kind of taking all your dirty laundry, throwing it out on the grass, and whether or not it's going to turn out to be true or not, I think it remains to be seen. But I think it's sad, but that she has to even do it. But in this day and age, she just wants to get ahead of it.
So are you trying to say, Joe, that them hoes be lying?
No, I don't think she's lying, right? I mean, and I've never put myself in a position where a woman could even lie about me, right? And most of that's the fact that I've been married 23 years, and it's not like I was a Boy Scout over those 23 years, but I've never been putting myself in a position where anyone would question my intentions. But I have cameras in my house, in both my homes. So my wife knows not to run around naked in the house because there's somebody watching the cameras. So anyone on the other side watching the cameras could, obviously exploit that. So I think the part about this that's troublesome is that this is the person that she was going to marry. And, I don't know if it's how long they were together or what the circumstances were behind it, but, I know what scorned ex-wife syndrome looks like. I know what it looks like.
Yep, it's a real thing. And by the way, when I say them hoes be lying, I mean that in a joking manner. I'm trying to be funny. Obviously, I do respect Nancy Mace. A lot of the policies that she's put forth have been very positive. A lot of the stances she's taken on social issues have been very good. So I do respect her, and I want to make that clear. I think she's a great politician, way better than most. And when I say that, I'm literally just trying to be making a point and saying things that are out there.
Don't worry. The sound clip's already done. I'm
already done. I'm done. I'm getting canceled already. I'm already done.
Nancy
it's okay.
Mace called a hoe by Matt Wallace.
I'll make at least 5 more clips you can cancel me for by the end of the show. Don't worry. So I'll just make so many offensive cancelable clips that you won't even be able to share them fast enough. That's my game plan.
We crack jokes about a lot of things, and we should be able to, but I think one of my problems is that as I was going through the internet, just kind of going through X and Facebook and just looking at things this morning, we deal with a lot of bullshit. I mean, there's just a ton of it. There's just a ton of mental midgetry that goes on. Anything from people coming out and saying that this person over here is tied to this sort of network, and you got the Flynn network, and oh my gosh, Patrick Byrne's bad, and oh, this person's bad, and I constantly go through this process where it caught me. It caught me 5 years ago when I got involved in all of this, where the lack of just basic maturity was a problem. And most often it's a problem in politics. And if it's not a problem in politics, it's a problem in Hollywood, where you have people that want to be influencers. And, it's very rare, Matt, that you have someone like you that is young and is still balanced. Right. And I think it's one of the first things that I said to you is that, you have a kind soul, like you do understand things, and that it's refreshing because most of the time we don't get that. Most of the time it's a bunch of raging idiots that are out there, frankly, that are getting the podium and are having the opportunity to speak. And it does feel like it's on purpose. It feels like there's just a lot of people out there that just want to hear themselves speak and just can make up stuff as if they're, sitting outside with a tinfoil hat and lizard people surrounding them. It's crazy.
Yep.
Crazy.
No, it is. It is. And everyone knows that sometimes it can be true that, especially in a relationship like that breaks off, oftentimes it can be the man, but oftentimes there can be a very angry woman who is trying to get revenge or hurt the man, and can go a little crazy as a result of that. It can be the man too, it can be the woman, it just depends. We see that a lot. The divorce rate in our country right now is really high, above 50%. Some estimates even have it higher if you include second and third divorces. So people get divorced a lot in this country. there's a lot of breakups, a lot of divorces, a lot of messy situations. And so as a result, we do have to look at these things with a little bit of a grain of salt. Now, we now are up to close to 2,000 viewers. So a lot of people are tuning in. For those of you who
hit the share button.
Hit the share button for those of you who just tuned in. So I have seen footage and videos. Footage and videos is the same thing. I've seen footage and pictures on Telegram that was leaked in a group I'm in that shows some of the stuff Nancy Mace, she showed a picture on the floor, but there are also other videos and pictures. They're going to start circulating, I imagine, soon. I was thinking about maybe posting them and asking for the permission of our team first, but I'm not going to do that. At least not now. Maybe not. Probably not ever. I apologize if you tuned in for that because I was planning. But Joe was like, all right, it's not worth it. And you're right, Joe. It's not worth it, especially out of respect for the fact that, I mean, she did send these two people. So these are out there. So just keep that in mind. But we're not gonna. It's gonna. You're gonna see it at some point.
The problem is that I don't really want to dig into the sewer. I don't want to get down in the mud and wallow around in it with people that want to wallow around in mud. And the bad part about that is that Nancy Mace is still a person, right? She is, and
she's a good person.
And she's a good person. And so it's the same thing that I said when we were talking about Lauren Boebert and the kind of feel you up that happened in the theater. I mean, it's almost a setup. You have cameras that are designed to inside of the theater to serve a purpose for safety and security, and they weaponize that against Lauren Boebert. You know, that there are plenty of times that I've said or done things that are sexual in nature with my wife, and that I'll be in a theater or say something. And I mean, obviously 23 years of marriage, you're going to, you're very comfortable with each other, so you can say things or, grab boobies. I'm not sure.
A confession of Altmann over here.
No, I mean, look,
all the stuff.
After 23 years, you just don't want to be. I mean, at some point, what the ridiculousness of this is that it would shame someone. Like I'm not ashamed of the relationship that I have with my wife or anybody else, right? So I just think that these people that get a kick out of that, I can't agree with it. Can't agree with it. And I don't know what the circumstances are on this deal. So,
well, let's go over what it was though, because I think this is important context. So we have a news clip for you showing why Nancy Mace is doing this. You can see a picture of the guy who she's going after. You can see a little more details in this news clip. I think it's important context. Apollo, could you go ahead and play the news clip we have? I believe it's the next one up. If you don't know which one I'm talking about, I will share it with you, but go ahead and play it. I think you know which one it is.
Malachi, a 19-year-old from Greenville County, is charged with threatening the life of a public official. The suspect appeared before a judge for a bond hearing today. Representative Nancy Mace flew in from Washington, D.C. late last night so she could be right there face to face. 7 News anchor Kelsey O'Donnell was in the court and has the latest.
Authorities say Samuel Kane was arrested Thursday, accused of making a post online threatening to kill Representative Nancy Mace.
This is Samuel Theodore Kane.
Inside of a Greenville County courtroom, Samuel Kane appeared before a judge for a bond arraignment Friday morning. Dressed in red detention attire, Kane stood behind a caged-in window across from family and listened as Representative Mace spoke to the judge.
Words have consequences. Threats like these are acts of terror meant to shake the foundations of democracy by targeting those who serve it. I pray this young man find God.
The South Carolina Law Enforcement Division tells us Kane is accused of making a threatening post on X, formerly known as Twitter, with the intent to, quote, assassinate the Congresswoman. State agents say the since-deleted post was made under the name Roxy Wolf. Investigators quickly learned Kane was the person who ran the account, who later confessed to making the threat.
How long am I in here for, Your Honor? Well, you'll be appearing in front of a circuit court judge. I can't tell you how long that will be.
It's a serious offense under both state and federal law. And Friday morning, a judge shared that he believes Kane is a credible threat and denied bond.
Do you have any questions that I can answer for you, sir?
Representative Mace shared her thoughts afterward.
Everyone has refused to take these death threats seriously. And I'm grateful for SLED. I'm grateful for the Capitol Police for following this through, because they know about the fear that I live in. But one day someone's going to pull the trigger, someone's going to get a bullet, and someone's going to die.
Representative Mace says her top priority is protecting herself and those closely connected to her family and staff from what she believes is politically motivated violence, and what she claims in this latest case was fueled by transgender-related topics.
We don't kill people or threaten to kill people because you disagree with them. It's going to be a tough lesson to learn for this man.
Kane is expected to appear before a circuit court judge at a later date and was ordered to have no contact with the Congresswoman. Despite the incident, Representative Mace spoke highly of the family in attendance.
I wanted to thank Samuel Kane's family. I think it was important that they were here today. And as a mom, it meant a lot to me to see them. They shook my hand, and their humility was very important to me, and I want to say thank you to his family.
That's fine.
Reporting in Greenville, Kelsey O'Donnell, 7 News.
If found guilty.
So I think that's important context behind this. So someone was literally trying to take her life, and that's in coordination with everything that's happening. That we also, there was a news clip I saw as well that shows the husband. We'll try to pull it up in a second here, or the ex-fiance, would have been husband, that Nancy Mace is now suing for defamation and is now trying to basically seek justice for over alleged abuse that happened, including with other women. So apparently he cheated on her. A lot of drama happened. And we did, by the way, play the video of Nancy Mace showing the picture of her on the house floor. That does show her in the background. It is blurry, but it shows her being filmed while she was not wearing clothes. And it is disturbing because the fact that that ended up ever going public is the problem. I mean, obviously, if you have a video of your wife or your fiance or something and you keep it private, that's one thing. But for that to somehow make its way public is crossing a line.
So we skipped over the video of the ex-fiance. We'll get to that. I saw it. It's up inside the chat. And no, it's not the one about the AG. It's the one just above that. But
and by the way, we were preparing, because this Nancy Mace stuff just came out minutes ago. So we were preparing last minute for this show. So we don't have our videos and stuff as, there it is, yeah.
Yeah, this is the video. But let me talk about this really quick, because we just played the one where you had the tranny that was attacking Nancy Mace. And that's a real thing. Like they literally have that person that you just saw, that's a dude who goes by the name of Roxy, who didn't like the fact that Nancy Mace said that, you know, men are men and women are women. And if it swings in the trees, you're a dude, right? And when you cut it off, it doesn't make you a woman. It makes you a eunuch. It's not going to change things for you. It just means that you're just like, they just add a third eunuch. You can become a eunuch, right? Or a eunuch with an appendage. But it doesn't make you any more of a man or any more of a woman by saying that you are something that you're not. So this whole attack on Nancy Mace, first she gets it from her fiance. That's totally different than what we're talking about here. But this is, you know, this 19-year-old that goes on and says that he's going to kill her. So, and he's worried about getting out. Well, what does that tell you? It tells you that these people live inside of their mind and can't understand the idea that they have to face any sort of consequence. And the reality of it is it's time for him to face consequences. And when he goes to jail, he will go to jail as a dude. He will be in a prison as a dude. They're not going to play games with him. They're not going to say, we're going to put you in a women's prison. No, they're going to make him he's going to be in general population. He's going to get 3 to 5 years, and he'll have plenty of time to think about it. But that's what's happening with these radical leftists. These radical leftists are, you know, they consume all of this stuff that I talk about at the beginning about this mental midgetry. We got to at some point get to a place where we can recognize that, you know, we're dealing with mental illness, but it's mental illness that we're actually creating. We're creating the environment that we're in right now.
Yeah, we are. And a lot of them, by the way, probably want to be, a lot of them are a lot of people who are transgender are really actually homosexual men who probably would prefer to be in a men's prison. That's something to keep in mind. I don't think most of them actually want to go to a women's prison. Just saying. Let's go ahead and play the clip of Nancy Mace.
Today in my hearing, I'm going to dissect what that guy did to dozens of women hidden on a hidden camera and other devices as he recorded them with impunity. without their knowledge, without their permission, and without their consent. Patrick Bryant, I hope you're ready. I'm also going to be sharing some of the imagery that Patrick Bryant, that guy right there, took of myself and other women without our knowledge, without our permission, and without our consent. Naked bodies, women's legs spread apart, different genital areas. And he had a catalog almost, I think, these different fetishes of what types of videos and photos he liked to capture of women without their knowledge. I'll go over that too. I'm also going to be going over some of the bills that I've worked on, particularly on voyeurism. The Sue Voyeurs Act and the Stop Voyeurs Act. Those bills were born out of the videos I saw of myself and many other women, because this is not about me. I'm fighting for their rights. We have 3 witnesses coming in today, and I hope that you'll tune in to hear my questions of the experts and see some of the evidence this guy did to women, to hurt them, to strip away their privacy. And he did it for years, and he saved those files of those women for years, one up to a decade. This man still roams free to film women without their knowledge, without their permission, without their consent. Nothing is stopping him from continuing to do that.
That's crazy. I don't know. I feel bad for the guy a little bit, because like you can tell how angry she is to him.
I don't feel
like he's in the doghouse. If he didn't do it, if he did do it, then obviously we feel not bad for him. If he didn't, if she's exaggerating because she's angry at him, that's a different story.
Bro, she's showing the videos. So obviously, how did she get the video if he didn't release them?
I mean, so the videos I saw did look to be consensual. I will say that. Now there may have been other ones that weren't, but the ones I saw did seem to be that way. There were a couple images that may or may not have been. I'm not sure. So based on that, that's where I'm forming this opinion. I think Nancy Mace may just be very angry at him and maybe exaggerating a little bit. And unless there is stuff that we haven't seen. So we'll give her the benefit of the doubt. She is a patriot. She has been fighting for our rights. She's been fighting to stop some of the mental illnesses. A couple things I disagree with her on. She has been a little bit of a shill for a certain group that we shall not name, the Israeli lobby. She's been a little bit of a shill for that. But besides that, overall, she's been pretty good. So I think we'll give her the benefit of the doubt. But at the same time, when I see that and I compare it to what I have seen, I do have a couple questions. So that's important. By the way, if you're tuning in for the first time, we are live every single day at 4 p.m. Eastern time. This is the #1 fastest growing show on the internet. We are sitting in a $700,000 studio. We have an incredible team back there. Joe Oltmann normally is here in studio with me. He is now calling in for today. He will be back, I believe, tomorrow, which will be nice to have Joe back in studio. So that'll be really good. But we have an incredible show, a lot of time and effort that goes into it. So I highly recommend that you go and click that follow button and tune in every single weekday at 4 p.m. Eastern time for the best show on the internet. Second after Viva when he does the raid. But besides that, the #1 show.
All right. So let me ask you a question. I mean, just on this particular subject with Nancy Mace. You know,
Okay.
one of the issues that I have is that we're constantly trying to figure out, from my perspective, we're trying to figure out the difference between, we move the goalposts between right and wrong, right? So let's record these videos. Let's hypothetically say that Nancy Mace and this person were married, and they recorded these videos. We've turned society into a place where the goalposts are they just slide, and you can just figure out wherever you want them. You want it all the way over here, and you want to invite people into your marriage. I have a friend of mine who had a beautiful wife, and then he went out and talked her into bringing another woman into their marriage, and it blew up their marriage. And then she ran off and ended up marrying another woman, which is
What?
strange. It totally happened. This really happened.
It sounds
But
like
he
the
did it-
perfect situation, though. If she already has a man and a woman, then boom, look at that. Perfect. That
No.
never works out, by the way.
It never works out, right? I mean, we're running away from what should be the normalization of a relationship, right? A bond, a union, and it becomes, I long for the day where we can get back to a place where a relationship is that you find a man or you find a woman, depending on what sex you are, and you build on that relationship. And I know that relationships are hard, but we tend to toss them out and replace them with fetishes or anything that can just satisfy this hole that we have in our soul. And most of the time, that hole, which, because we're going to talk about this IVF killer, and frankly, I mean, Matt, this is terrible. I mean, this guy writes about the fact that he didn't want to come into the world, and he blows himself up. Yeah. And it has a lot to do with the fact that he is diminishing whether or not there's a God. And what's sad about this is that everywhere on the internet, or at schools or universities or anywhere we go, there's this immense amount of pain, this darkness that overcomes people's lives because it doesn't have purpose. And one of the things, and I just want to give a shout out to one of the people that are in the comments that shared this video with me yesterday. Did it get past it? Did it get past it? Let's see if I can find it real quick. It's Mean Little Meow. Mean Little Meow. Who shared this stuff with me when it was hot off the press of the videos. We're going to listen to his manifesto, or at least a small part of it. But Matt, we've literally run towards self-gratification, and then there's nothing to be gained from it. And right. What's sad is that I actually enjoy coming home and talking to my wife. And my wife is not going to be a stunning 10 for 60 years. She's not. I recognize that. Right? But you have to love the person that literally is your soulmate, the person that is deeply connected to you. And I think that we've replaced that with a deviancy and a darkness that if we don't run away from, man, we're going to be much like this guy who's alone, who decided that the only way out and the only justification was to kill himself. And not only kill himself, but take out any idea that somebody else could go and bring another baby into this world. And revealed some stuff about his friend. He has a girl that's his friend, and the fact that she committed suicide by letting someone shoot her while she was sleeping. Like, that was a real thing. Yeah. I mean, just think about the depravity you would have to go through that. It's very sad. It's very sad.
We're in a fallen world. That's what we're in right now, and we see it all around us. And Paul, by the way, for everyone asking, Paul, if you want to put up next to us while we're talking the clip of Nancy Mace with no audio, the very first one that we played that shows her showing the picture behind her. I would like to put that up for everyone asking. But as we move on, we're about to talk about a story that has been going and hitting people directly in the heart, because there was someone who basically tried to take out a bunch of unborn babies at one time. You can see, by the way, for everyone asking, that is Nancy Mace showing the picture behind her. There were a lot of pictures and videos that have been leaking across Telegram. I've seen most of them, I imagine, unless there's a lot more that I haven't seen. But I know there's a lot of them. Many of them are now going to be public soon. You will be able to see them, whether for good or for bad, it will get leaked. That's what's going to happen. But you can see her talking about it there. There's also a clip of Nancy Mace. Let's play one more clip of Nancy Mace talking on the House floor. It is the 4-minute long one, Apollo, that you almost played, that JC mentioned when I mentioned the news clip. Let's put that up and show her talking for a bit, and then we'll go into the big story of the day, where 25-year-old guy tried to take the life of a bunch of innocent unborn babies. We can get into the morals as well, Joe. I'm sure we will. Of IVF. Is IVF wrong? Is it right? Regardless, those are still embryos, and he almost took out a bunch of them. Multiple people injured.
He did.
He lost his own life.
Yeah, he lost his own life. He was the only one to die, which is, I mean, if you're gonna off yourself, at least make it a all about yourself.
That is good. And the injuries, we don't know the full extent of them. We're going to be covering that in a bit. Let's go ahead and play the Nancy Mace clip, the 4-minute long one, and then we'll go straight into the other story of the day.
True strength lies in honor, it lies in respect, and it lies in the truth. Real men are protectors, they're not predators. South Carolina's chief law enforcement officer, Attorney General Alan Wilson, stated 2 weeks ago tonight that he will let his, quote, record speak for itself. Attorney General Alan Wilson Be careful what you wish for, because your record speaks loud and clear. Women who come forward in your system are treated like criminals. Under your leadership, in your system, and on your watch. Attorney General Alan Wilson, you know there were deliberate delays in an investigation in what I turned over. 228 days of delay, and you know this. 228 days of delay, that's 7 months, 2 weeks, and 4 days of delay to investigate. Once again, today, you are kicking the can down the road like you always do. You are known for it. More days, more weeks, and more delay.
Being Alan Wilson and watching Nancy Mace. Nancy Mace is not someone you want to mess with. That is not a woman who you want to get on the bad side of. Like, I can tell you that right now. That's crazy. She's showing the picture of him on the floor of the House and calling him out in every capacity. He's not even there to defend himself, which I think I would like to hear his side of the story as well. But that is interesting. He deserves to have his side of the story shown too. I think that's important.
Well, I mean, again, all things considered, Nancy Mace has a pretty good track record of telling the truth. So
she does.
I'll give her the benefit of the doubt, and I think they thought they could shake her down. Now, does that mean that she can't be shaken down in other ways, and that they haven't gotten to her in other ways, and that she's not compromised? Or maybe that was one of the compromises, right? Maybe that's one of the things that's being unearthed by all the Republicans that are standing against the great big bill of President Trump's, or the fact that it feels like the Republicans and Democrats are all having conversations in back rooms about how to screw the American people. So this does take a little bit of a light off of that, but at the same time, I look at it and go, good for her. Good for her that she's standing up and taking a stand against these guys. Now, I'm not going to do what everybody else does, say, oh, the misogynists, right? No, they're just really bad people. You can just tell the difference, a bad person and a good person. Just don't put yourself in the circle with a bunch of bad people. So there you go.
And Apologist sent a clip in the chat too of Trump saying that he is now putting a law into place to stop online harassment, including with AI and other stuff. We'll go ahead and play that clip. I guess we'll do that first before going into the big story of the day, which is the bomber. We'll go ahead and play the clip right now, Paul, if you have it on deck.
Today, it's my honor to officially sign the Take It Down Act into law. It's a big thing, very important, so horrible what takes place. This will be the first ever federal law to combat the distribution of explicit, imaginary, posted without subject's consent. They take horrible pictures, and I guess sometimes even make up the pictures, and they post it without consent or anything else. And very importantly, this includes for forgeries generated by artificial intelligence known as deepfakes. We've all heard about deepfakes. I have them all the time, but nobody does anything. I asked Pam, can you help me, Pam? She says, no, I'm too busy. Too busy doing other things. Don't worry, you'll survive. But a lot of people don't survive. That's true, and so horrible. With the rise of AI image generation, countless women have been harassed with deepfakes and other explicit images distributed against their will. This is the wrong, and it's just so horribly wrong. And it's a very abusive situation, like in some cases people have never seen before. And today we're making it totally illegal.
That's good. Yeah, good. I mean, I would prefer if he had that much energy and anger towards stopping wars, specifically in regards to the Middle East, as he does with that bill. I mean, he does with Ukraine. He's trying to stop that. He says he's trying to stop the wars in the Middle East to some degree. I want to see more energy. I want to see more energy in stopping the bad guys and arresting people. But that's a good step. Yeah, it's not a bad thing to do what he's doing. There's also, by the way, I found, so Nancy Mace has taken $60,000 this year from AIPAC. So she is willing to sell out for some things, just not others. So we'll have to, like with every politician, have this list here. Here's the good things. Here's the bad things. Nancy Mace, way more good things than bad things. Can't be said about most politicians. But there's almost no one who's willing to truly stand up for everything that's right, because the system is designed for people like that to not be able to get into office.
No question. No question. Man, it is. I keep thinking about. So there's a guy. His name is what's his name? Jovan Pulitzer. And he's the guy that walks around saying it's the paper in the elections. It's not the machines. And I know I talk about the machines and mail-in ballots and what they've done across the country quite a bit because it's the thing that drew me into this nearly 5 years ago. But Matt, he created a picture. I'm not a hairy individual, but he created a picture of, there was an AI picture. And I keep thinking to myself, man, I wonder if I could sue him just to give him hassle for creating such a disparaging picture of me. I think I can. So I just sent a text message to my lawyer saying, hey, can we sue him?
Interesting. There we go.
That'd be kind of funny.
To all the thousands of people watching, you now know that Joe, if you decide to make a extra hairy image of Joe, you're gonna get sued. It's kind of
it was kind of a weird picture though. I mean, it's like I don't like deviants. Like I don't like deviant people. Like I'm just not. That's not my bag, right? So, I don't like porn. I don't like cheating on my wife. I don't like going to what are they called? Strip clubs. I have no interest in any of that. I have an interest in my wife, period.
Yep.
Right. And so it becomes difficult to, see somebody saying stuff or doing stuff that they say about me, given how much time that I've spent going after people that do harm to other people. So yeah, it's a little crazy.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Why not?
I mean, even though I will say, if you want to make a hybrid Matt gorilla picture, go for it. If you want to, I don't mind. By the way, Joe has the gorilla strength, but not the gorilla hair. So we now let the record be known. By the way, Joe's wife recently was gone on a trip for a bit, and it was actually really beautiful to see in a non no homo way. It was beautiful to see how much she missed her. And I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, even though it was sad, it was also really a beautiful thing. So Joe's every word Joe says, I can attest to the fact that it is in fact true. And that's why this show is different than others. We're not degenerates. We're not crazy. We're here. We have normal families. We're going to show you the truth every single episode. We're not paid by anyone. We're independently able to make this show happen. We have our own servers. This is the place to be, to see the truth from people who are going to put honor behind our words because we actually care about this stuff. We'll make jokes. We'll be offensive. But we really do care. And so that's why it's important to be here. Are you ready, Joe, to move on to the big story of the day?
I am ready. This is a sad story, and I'm gonna have to leave you guys. I gotta actually catch a plane to get back to you. So I'm gonna leave Matt with this story. But I want to say two things if I can in closing. You have to close us in prayer. Please don't miss your prayer.
I won't.
Don't let Matt miss the prayer.
I almost missed it once, never again. And I know I'm joking a little bit about it, but it is actually serious. I mean, it is important to do that. If we keep talking to God, then we'll remain close to God. So we have to do that.
Yeah. So I want to say this. I hope to be an example for people, my 23-year marriage, the time that I spend with my wife, how I treat my wife. And if I could be an encouragement for anything, it's that if you're having trouble in your marriage or if you're having trouble in your relationship, it sounds antithetical to say go back to where you were when you started. Like, why were you with this person? But you really do have to do that. In that relationship, you're most of the time you're operating in a place where you're either empty, you're lonely, there's something else, and you're attaching that to your relationship with your spouse. And so I want to be an example of what good can come out of having just a pure relationship, much like the one that I have with my wife, and even the ones that I have with my children, and the way that they've been able to thrive by me being an example to them as well. So I'll say that. And the next thing I'll say is that what this kid went through, this 25-year-old kid, I want you to pay attention to it, because a lot of you have children. Like the people that are listening, you have kids. You have, and a 25-year-old is in essence just a man child. And we've allowed the internet, YouTube, and all these places to influence and create the next generation. We haven't slowed down and had a conversation with them. And so as you hear the story, hopefully you get a chance to play the 6-minute clip of the manifesto and look at some of the things that he said. You can see the despair. You can see what is actually happening with this next generation, where they don't feel like there's any other options. They don't feel like there's a lot of good because we've surrounded them with such bad things all the time. We've never been able to show to show them that, hey, life is beautiful. There's a lot to come out of it. Even if you only live 75 years and you die at 75 and you're still at work, right? There's still a lot of beauty to come out of it, and life is a test. And frankly, it's either a sick joke or a test. And I'd like to believe that it's a test that God just wants to see how far we're willing to go and what we're willing to do in order to stand up for what's right. So, so just remember that this 25-year-old, I don't think what he did was right. Matter of fact, I think it's awful. But I watched the entire 30-minute manifesto, and it's filled with something that you can't run away from. It's a darkness where there is no light. And the way that he describes things, I just wish that someone would have been able to put their hand out. And this is the danger about the radical left. This is the danger also of the radical right, is that somewhere along the line, we've lost our humanity. We've allowed for wars to go on and people to die just so we can fulfill ego or fulfill some sort of sick desire that we have to chase power or money or something that doesn't matter. So I leave that with you. Matt, close us out good. And I will see you guys tomorrow in the studio. So it'd be a great segment. So share it with your friends.
Very well said. And I look forward to you being back, Joe. I mean, we miss you. We miss you, Joe. We look forward to you being back in the studio. and also, it's important to keep in mind. The average age of the NBA Finals right now, the people who are currently in the Western Conference, Eastern Conference Finals, is probably around 25. So we'll keep that in mind. I mean, at 25, you can either be a child or you can be leading a team to a championship in the NFL or NBA, or you can be 25, own a business, or you can be on the Doge team at 19. So age is only a number if you choose to be mature and to make smart decisions. In this case, though, the 25-year-old was absolutely a man-child, as Joe said. This is someone who had an extremely high level of mental health problems. This is someone who was immature in almost every regard, and someone who decided to take that immaturity. Let's go ahead and play the first clip and do something very awful with it. I don't care what clip you play, just play one of the first clips. So this is my audio on right now. That is one of the fires that came as a result of this bombing. You can see right there the side of the incident where it happened. There were images that were pretty disturbing that came out showing the rubble. And so basically what he did is he took his car and he made a chemical reaction inside of the car right outside of the facility. 4 people were injured, as well as him losing his life. Now, from what I heard, is this right, Apollo? Were the actual embryos hurt in this process? Because I believe they were saved. So I believe all of the embryos made it. I was checking because this also just is a new story that is still unfolding. So maybe there is going to be developments that happen while we're live, which we will cover. But as far as we know, right now, the 4 people that were injured, it was not anything too severe. Is that correct as well, Apollo? Or have we gotten an update on those people? Check on that while we're live. But with this incident, basically what happened is he is not what you may think. He's not against the IVF process because it's immoral. He's against IVF because it brings life into this world non-consensually, which is everyone. He's a person who believes that people shouldn't exist because it's not fair to be born. One of the most twisted, weird, and disturbing ideologies possible. And obviously a very unintelligent person wasn't even capable of doing this with any level of success compared to what he wanted to do. So that, I mean, God obviously stepped in here and didn't allow the lives of these unborn children to be taken. But he tried. And as a result, we did have a lot of damage, a lot of problems, and this young man losing his life. So, but where this gets weird, where this gets into territory that makes absolutely no sense at all, is that, so we have a couple of pieces of footage here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up so I can make sure I'm going through it in the right order. Let's go ahead and put up the second clip. So this is interesting. This is the second clip. I believe we have a second clip right of this. Yeah, put that up. Put up the manifesto. So this is the video of him describing what he's doing. And what you'll notice in this is he sounds sane. He sounds calm. He sounds like someone who's very premeditated in this. And that's odd because a sane person doesn't do what he did. So there may be more to this. Typically, SRIs are involved. Typically, there's brain-altering drugs. It doesn't always have to be drugs like meth or cocaine and stuff like that. Oftentimes, it is depression medication. It is pills that are prescribed by doctors to children, ADHD medication, stuff like that. And so if we go ahead and put up this manifesto, the video, pay attention to the words, and we won't play the whole thing because it is long, but you can go ahead and get an idea of who this guy is. It's only audio, it's not video, and why he was doing what he was doing.
Oh God. Okay. What else? Yeah. So I guess maybe I should talk a bit about IVF. I mean, obviously, I'm very against it. It's extremely wrong. I mean, these are people who are having kids after they've sat there and thought about it. How much more stupid can it get? I don't know. I guess you can make the argument like, well, at least they're thinking about it and at least they're planning it and all that. It's like, yeah, that is something, I guess. But at the same time, again, you still can't get their goddamn consent. So it's you're not getting around that argument, not rationally. So basically, I'm anti-life, right? And IVF is like kind of the epitome of pro-life ideology, right? So yeah, IVF clinics, and the people that work for them, quite frankly. Ignorance is not really an excuse. I know, because I know people are going to say like, oh, they haven't even thought about what they're doing or whatever, and it's like, yes, that's sad and all, but like, again, if a guy is going around raping people and is like actually retarded and doesn't understand what he's doing, right? Does that mean you don't punish him still? Or you don't like lock him up still or something? No, it doesn't mean that. You still have to take action, right? You still have to do something.
So you heard the way he was talking. Now he has a little bit of a crazy tone to his voice, but he's being calm, he's being rational, and he is displaying an ideology that is anti-human at its very core, and unabashedly so. He is directly saying that human life should not exist. That is akin to some of the most evil mass murderers in history. That's what they thought as well. This guy is Thanos, but instead of half, it's all of them. No one should be born ever again, according to this guy. How do you even go down that rabbit hole? How do you get to a place where you genuinely believe that's the truth? And he also contradicts himself, because I wouldn't say it's pro-life, an IVF clinic, because most of those embryos, by the way, are not born. When you do IVF, typically you make 6 embryos. That's human life the second it becomes an embryo. We know that for a fact. You can see the spark, you can see the soul going into the embryo when it is made. And most of those are discarded. I've seen people I know who have, and I wouldn't say I'm friends with them necessarily, but people who I've met in public, people who are friends of my friends. And I hope they don't see this, because I don't want to be mean, and at least they're having kids, right? So they're not, and they don't believe it's wrong. So they're not doing something that they believe is wrong. And I hope they're able to see why that's important in the future. But at the same time, what this really is making human beings, and then you are taking their life. And you are doing it in order to pick the gender. There are some instances where people have rare genetic conditions, and in those cases, it's way more acceptable. So I don't want to totally be against all IVF. In some cases, you may need it. If you want to have children, having a child is better than having no children. There's also people who use IVF in order to just make one embryo and then have that be the embryo that creates life. If you decide to do IVF, even if you need it to prevent some sort of disease or rare condition, make one embryo first, test that one embryo, and hopefully that one embryo will test well and you can proceed with the birth. If you decide not to, maybe there's a reason for it, and I don't want to judge you too much for that. But generally speaking, if you can have birth naturally, and if you never have to have an embryo that goes unborn, that is a massive win, because every single child, every single human life should get to experience what it is like here. Everyone. That's why God created Earth. That's why we're here. We're experiencing it. We're enjoying the creation. And to rob that of someone, even if you think they're going to have a bad life, whatever the excuse may be, is wrong. It's immoral. It's evil. And just because this kid, this 25-year-old kid, which I guess he's really not a kid anymore. He's 25. He's an adult. He could be leading the team right now to the Eastern Conference or Western Conference finals at that age. So we're not going. That is absolutely not an excuse. He should be more mature at that age. He should be capable of understanding the truth. But just because he had a bad life, just because he didn't like his situation, his circumstances, which he has the ability to change, we have free will. We have the most opportune country here in the United States, anywhere on earth, in all of human history even. There's nowhere better for you to become rich than the United States. Not a single place on earth in all of human history has had a better opportunity for that. Let's go ahead and play the Fox News clip showing some of the motivation behind this guy.
Our Sarah Legri is live for us in Palm Springs tonight. And Sarah, do we know an exact motive yet? Because this is just, it's so tragic and bizarre.
Well, Tim, while we don't have a clear one yet, the FBI, they've made it clear that this was a targeted terror attack on that IVF clinic. We are just south of there. Authorities are cleaning up, moving operations out, it seems like, over the course of the past couple of hours. But, you know, that building extensively damaged, along with several surrounding businesses there in that location. But the embryos and the eggs inside the clinic, yeah, those are okay, all thanks to the decisions and quick thinking made by local first responders.
You know, there were hopes and dreams in there, and the fire department volunteered to go try and help. And the assignment was to go try and restore power. I didn't feel comfortable in sending my guys in, and so, you know, I said that if anybody was going to go, it was going to be me. There was conversation where we said, you know, if we don't try, the bad guy wins.
Yeah, restoring the power was huge there. The FBI confirmed the remains found at the scene match with 25-year-old guy Edward Bartkus, who detonated a car bomb outside the American Reproductive Center in Palm Springs Saturday. He called himself a pro-mortalist, believing people shouldn't be born without their consent. The FBI says the explosion left behind what could be one of the largest bomb scenes in Southern California, with a debris field stretching 250 yards. The bomb also scattered pieces of the suspect's vehicle across several blocks. All 4 people hurt have been released from the hospital. The FBI says Bartkus wasn't on their radar before the attack, but based off what they've uncovered since, they believe this was planned and ideologically driven.
Also, he posted it on Reddit.
And this was a targeted attack against the IVF facility.
Is he saying IVF or IDF? It sounded like you're saying IDF. I think he was saying IVF, though. But regardless, this guy was posting it on Reddit. He was posting it on the internet ahead of time, what he was planning to do, which is the 3rd time this year that we've seen someone posting it and they don't catch it and then it happens. At some point, we have to hold them responsible, the 3-letter agencies, for not even noticing this most of the time. We got so lucky in this case that no life was taken, no embryo was harmed. But this guy had enough intelligence to make a very powerful weapon. That's the ultimate way to say you can't get laid. He can't find a woman. No woman wants to touch him. I can do a little bit of a Trump impression maybe there. Nobody wants to touch him. Not a soul. Something like that. That wasn't that good of an impression, but you get the point. This guy is someone who is an incel through and through, which it's fine to be an incel. But if you're desperate for that and you can't get it, then it can create a very turbulent mental space. It's better, by the way, to wait until marriage before you do decide to do that. That's a positive thing. That's not someone who should be judged based on that alone, but clearly the ideology that he formed, and there's a few people on the internet who are pushing it. It's mostly radical leftist atheists who are anti-human. These people really, truly should be shunned from society. These people should not be respected or listened to. And the only cancel culture that makes sense is canceling anti-humans. In that case, we can do cancel culture. No other cancel culture is needed, but the anti-humans don't deserve to have a voice because they are literally against humanity. That is a murderer. That is someone who wants us to not be alive. That is someone who wants to stop life. And we see a prime example right here of that. I want to go and show you something else. Now I will say, some lives are certainly very much useless and or harmful to everyone else. And one of them is a person in our government who decided, a little bit of a weird transition there, I know, but it was someone in our government who decided to attack law enforcement officials who were trying to do their jobs. There's a video of it. This is crazy. And her response only makes it worse, by the way. So there's the video. You can see this. I mean, look at her. Like the way she's like that. That's an absolute unit right there. That is a unit marching down the streets, taking on the law enforcement. Send her into Ukraine. The war will be over within a matter of days. She's just gonna unit everyone. Just get out of here. Get out of here. I mean, I don't even know how you let your body get to that point where you look like a refrigerator. That's what she looks like. That is a refrigerator going and slamming the door into all of these officers. It is serious, though, because there were injuries that were sustained, and there are charges now being pressed against her. She's doing this in support of radical left ideology. Clearly, this is someone who doesn't respect our country or even her own body, and that's why you get to that point. Now, it's one thing to be a little overweight, whatever, a lot of people are, but to let your body get to that point, I just find that so disrespectful. And I know it's not my business, whatever, she can do what she wants, it's her life. But why is this person in our government when they can't even take care of themselves? They're supposed to be in charge of our country, in charge of making laws. There is the document right there where they've now decided officially to go after her. That is a huge deal. Alina Habba, who you may know from being friends with Trump and representing him, now she is taking her skills and targeting some of these people. But the response, I think, is even more disgusting by this person, this congressperson who should not be in Congress, period. Here's her response. She says, quote, that it was Congresswoman, we'll go ahead and skip the first part and go straight to the quote. Earlier this month, I joined my colleagues to inspect the treatment of ICE detainees. We were fulfilling our lawful oversight responsibilities as members of Congress have done it many times before, and our visit should have been peaceful and short. Instead, ICE agents decided to unnecessarily and unsafely do a confrontation where they chose to arrest Mayor Barca. A little hard to read this, by the way, so because it's on a small screen and the words are. I don't know why she chose. It's the worst font possible to choose. You could have picked any font. The charges against me are purely political. They're mischaracterized and distort my actions and are meant to characterize and deter legislative oversight. This administration will never stop me from working for the people in our district and standing up for what is right, which is apparently legal immigration. What a retard. I'm thankful for the outpouring of support from who you haven't gotten any that I've received and look forward to the truth being laid out clearly in court. Well, why don't we go ahead and put the truth up one more time? This truth from this retard. There's the truth. That is her. This weirdo. I mean, she's the same size as 2 ICE agents. So I mean that's a formidable force. And look at what that's an NFL lineman right there. The Giants should sign her, honestly. Maybe she just walked her way into a NFL contract with those moves there. I mean, what the heck is going on? We were watching you push them. We're watching you shove them in the back. You're not even directly shoving them head on, or it's not like a fight or something. You're literally just shoving them in the back in the middle of a crowd to where if they fall down, they could get trampled and hurt. And they're big guys. They probably wouldn't lose their life from this. It's not like she's firing a gun or something, but she is pushing them in a way that could cause serious damage, and the ideology behind it, that illegal immigration should be encouraged, that these detention facilities have to be nice or something. If you want a nice place, why don't you stay in your country, get a nice house there, and then you can have a nice place. We don't owe you putting you in a nice place here if you decide to come illegally. Don't do that, then you don't have to worry about it. It's that simple, and yet people continue to come illegally, and the weirdos like that are encouraging it. Now, the other thing she could have done here's why I'm confused. So she could have just, if she had stomped her feet on the ground a little harder, I mean, she could have caused an earthquake and the ICE facility would have fallen down and all the illegals could have gone free. So I will say there was some strategic negligence there. So many opportunities she had. She could have also gone and jumped in any nearby pool and caused a tsunami to go and take over the entire ICE facility, which would then again tear down the walls and free all of the illegal immigrants. Or she could have jumped through the wall like the Kool-Aid man. So many options at her level of physical ability. That is a marvel of human nature right there. That is incredible. That seriously, NFL team needs to sign her, at least get her a D1 contract for the Alabama Roll Tide. We need to see something done there. I think that's important. You know, I'm going to make a couple calls to a couple of my friends in the recruiting department, and we'll try to get her a contract. We'll try. You know, we'll be nice. We'll be nice to her. We'll get her an NFL contract and get her going, and then at least she'll be out of Congress. I would rather her be in the NFL, where she belongs, clearly based on those moves, than in Congress. Now we also have. So I mean, what a crazy segment though. What a crazy segment. I hope Joe's still listening because that's wild stuff. Literally, maybe the most insane video of a congressperson that I have ever seen. You're supposed to be in a respectable position, and clearly this is someone who shouldn't even be in charge of anything. I wouldn't even trust her to be the manager of my local Arby's. I wouldn't trust her to watch my kids. I wouldn't trust her to be in charge of anything. I wouldn't trust her. Well, I probably would trust her on my diet plan since I'm trying to become an NFL lineman. So maybe I can get some tips for her on how to bulk up. But besides that, that's the only thing. My meal planning is the only thing I would trust her for. It would probably be healthy too. I'm sure she eats very healthily. We know that for a fact. You know, I think maybe we could just end the show there. Maybe we should just end the show there. We're at an hour. Let's play for everyone who's just now tuning in based on the thumbnail. Let's go ahead and play the Nancy Mace showing the video, the picture behind her on the floor of the house. Put that up next to me. We'll play that one more time before ending the show. And we will, of course, do the prayer. We're not going to forget that. We have to do the prayer. So we will play the video. We will talk about it briefly. And then we will do the prayer. And then you're going to have to tune in tomorrow because I'm sure it'll be another crazy show. It'll be good. If you could, Paul, go ahead and put up that clip. So we'll show this one more time for everyone and react to it one more time and then move on to the prayer. And then I will say goodbye.
Starting on November 5th, 2023, I discovered my former fiancé, Patrick Bryant, had filmed women without their knowledge, without their permission, and without their consent.
Okay, turn the audio off on that.
Rape, too.
So that's her. Once again, the videos and images have been leaked all over Telegram. I've seen them in not just one, two separate Telegram groups, videos, pictures. Most of them did look consensual to me. Some of them questionable, all of them graphic. And so these have been leaked. These have been out there. You probably will see it at some point. So keep that in mind. But there it is. You can see in the background in the yellow circle, that is Nancy Mace being filmed without her consent, she says, by someone who is an AG, someone who's in a powerful position that was her fiance, who allegedly also did this to other women as well. Really one of the craziest stories we've ever seen. And the footage and videos that have come out, including that picture right there, are certainly graphic and a little bit disturbing, but do paint a picture that shows the crazy state of our fallen world. Interesting times, disturbing times. Every single show seems to get crazier and crazier. We have fridges that are pushing ICE agents. The fridge and the ice, the perfect connection there. The fridge then probably ate the ice afterwards. The ice was inside the fridge. I'm going too far with this segment. Then Nancy Mace, what a day. What a day. You have to tune in every day at 4 p.m. Eastern time. This is the only place to be. Joe Oltmann, Matt Wallace, come hang out with us. We'll go over every single story. You'll know all the information about it. We're not afraid to play the crazy, disturbing clips. We're willing to go out and say things that no one else is willing to say. Make jokes that are highly offensive because who cares? Screw cancel culture. No one cares. We're going to say it. We're going to do it. Be here, be entertained, have fun with us. And without anything else to say, I'm going to go ahead and do the prayer. And dear Lord, those babies that were in the IVF clinic who almost never even got a chance at life, many of whom may not still get a chance at life. Thank you for protecting them and allowing the opportunity for that choice to still be made by the parents who have that ability. Help more people to see how important life is and to understand that when you make an embryo, when you have a baby in the womb, that is a creation of yours, that is one with you and should be protected and loved and cared for and given everything that we are capable of giving. As these babies who are now still just embryos, as they experience life, hope it's full of joy and they're able to have a relationship with you, as many of them as possible. Being born would be a beautiful thing. But we truly just humble ourselves before you, and I can't even imagine what it would be like not to be here, not to be experiencing this incredible creation that you put for us, that you allowed us to enjoy. Amen. So with that, we'll go ahead and do, and hopefully, by the way, at home, you're bowing your head with me, because I don't think we have to be in the same room to pray together. I think we can still pray together even through the screen. So I do hope when we do the prayer every single day, you are bowing your head and you are praying. And if you want to say your own prayer after the show, I highly encourage you to do that. It is important to talk to God. God can hear what we say. And it doesn't mean that if we ask God for things, we're going to get it all the time. That's not how that works. But it does mean that the more we talk to God, the closer we can be to him, the closer of relationship we can have. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I do hope you're bowing your head. Apple, Spotify, podcasts, everywhere you can find it. On X, if you want to watch it there. There's a lot of places to watch. Rumble is the best main place to watch right now. We are in talks with Rumble to try to get the show even bigger. It is the fastest growing show on the internet. Our show from a few days ago got 220,000 views. We are consistently getting large viewerships, a lot of people coming in. So share it, click the like button, join us every single weekday for the best, fastest growing show that you can possibly find, except for number 2 compared to your other favorite show. So it's the second best show after that one. But besides that, we're number 1. Anyway, I'm Matt Wallace. Joel Oltmann will be here in the studio tomorrow. So I will see you then. Thanks for tuning in.